In a quiet village nested in the vast Indian plains, where the dusty winds sweep across endless fields, there lived an old man named Harish. He was 75, with skin as creased as sun-baked clay and eyes as the color of a deep, silent river. His mud brick house stood alone on a small earthen mound at the edge of the village, far from the bustling central square. Inside the house, there were only basic things: a single oil lamp, a small clay stove for tea, and a simple cot that overlooked the horizon. He lived in total silence. His wife had passed 3 decades ago, and they had never been blessed with children. The villagers felt pity on him. That autumn, Arav, a 25-year-old man from Delhi, arrived in the village to escape his crumbling life. Arav was broken from within. He had lost his job in a scandal while he was innocent. His fiancée had left him for someone more stable, and his peers constantly mocked his downfall. Every evening, he sat near the riverbank, defeated, numb, and silently questioning, "Why is the universe so heartless to me?" One morning, as Arav walked past the mound, he saw Harish polishing an old glass lantern and humming a bright, cheerful folk tune. His eyes sparkled with peace, and he whistled at every sparrow that landed nearby, even when the sun was harsh. Intrigued, Arav watched this ritual for days. Finally, one humid evening, unable to contain his frustration, Arav approached him and said, "Old man, can I sit here for a moment?" Harish's face lit up. "Of course, son, come. The evening breeze is refreshing at this hour." They sat in silence for a moment. Arav finally spoke. "You live here alone. You have nothing much, and yet you hum like you've won a fortune. How?" Harish chuckled softly. "Oh, child, I was not born with this music. It came to me after many floods in my life. Would you like to hear my story?" Arav nodded with wide eyes. Harish started. "When I was your age, I married a woman with a laugh like rain. We had nothing much but hope. Unfortunately, nature has its way.
One monsoon, the river swelled without warning. A sudden flash flood swept through our fields. I had no rope to reach her and no strength to fight the churning muddy water. She vanished, leaving me with only a name to whisper. I wanted to drown with her, but I lived to keep her memory alive. I gathered fallen branches, mended mud walls, even labored in someone else's fields just to survive in this hut. Years passed. The friends I knew moved away or died. I am the last of my line." Arav gasped. "You never left this place?" "I did once," Harish said, with distant eyes. "I went to the city to find a new life. But I stood in the crowd and felt more alone there than I do here. I realized sometimes happiness means creating your own light." Tears welled up in Arav's eyes. "But don't you feel angry? Abandoned? Betrayed?" Harish replied while controlling his emotions. "I did, until I discovered 3 anchors that saved me. Let me share them with you."
He held up his fingers gently. 1, release the ghost of what should have been. I cannot bring my wife back, but I can choose not to let the grief drown me. I chose the present over the past. 2, find beauty in smallest things. I may not have family, but I have this lantern, this breeze, the vast fields, and a soul that still observes. Purpose is not to earn fame. The purpose is to be aware. 3, be a guiding light for others. I light this lamp every night so that travelers don't lose their way on the muddy footpaths. Helping others navigate makes me feel alive, like I still matter." Arav sat quietly, as if 1,000-kilo weights on his soul were slowly lifting. The moon rose over the plains. The crickets chirped rhythmically below. Arav breathed deeply and whispered, "Harish, thank you." Looking at the old man's steady hands,
"You've grounded something in me tonight." Next day, Arav returned to Delhi, but now he was aware that his problems would still remain. Something had shifted in him. He began each day with a moment of stillness, stopped chasing the status he had lost, and started mentoring others who were drowning in their own failures. True happiness does not mean only success and no failure, but the presence of perspective. Life will never be free of loss or rejection, but we always have a choice in how we fight the challenge. Harish's story teaches us that peace is not found in perfect company. It is built slowly through the release of regret, gratitude for whatever we have, even when we are standing alone. We often wait for someone to save us before we allow ourselves to be happy. But the truth is, sometimes the world looks brighter because we choose to light our own lamp.